Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the demo day of ninth Cohort 18. So we have 9 pitches today, spread out over 2.5 hours, 10 minutes for pitching and 5 minutes for Q&A, right? So we've got startups across HR tech, we've got startups in food tech, med tech, there is a defense startup, right? And there's also a cybersecurity startup. So I'll just introduce you to the panel. Some have joined, some should be joining in the next couple of minutes. So the panel is made up of Ratnakar, who's the CEO of Hyderabad Angels and have VC. He's part of this panel. The second is Shashank Ramdev. He's the founder and general partner at 247 VC. He was ex-GP at 100x.vc. And the third is Vidit Chauhan. He's VP Investments at Anay Ventures. It's a family office. And of course, Pranab Ravana is an active angel investor. He's invested in agri, food tech, and medtech also. Kumar Gaurav is a hospitality entrepreneur and consultant. He's an IMA graduate. He should be also joining. Raghu Patri is here. He's the founder of TripThrill. And in fact, he initiated ET Power of Ideas. If you know, I was an applicant to ET Power of Ideas some 15, 18 years back. Yeah. So he was one of the initiators of that. Then there's Gupta Bodha. He's an investor and technologist. He's worked across domains, being a specialist in cybersecurity. He was in GMR and Brigade Group before this, and he's a president of the CIO Club also. Right. Anup is here. So Anup is a mentor with the Kerala Startup Mission, and he has been a CISO for multiple organizations. So this is the panel, and from Team Sarthi, there's of course Rajesh, me, Amritam, Sarvagya, and Priyanshu should be here. Right? So we've got a detailed panel. The objective is we'll be rating all the startups in this with comments. So we got VP comments. Now we'll be getting investor readiness comments and their decision. So all these will be giving us their ratings on the team, the product, the value proposition, their allies network, the customer management, their unicorn potential, the moat, scalability, commercial viability, and PM fit, right? And therefore their overall decision. So we'll be compiling all this and telling you champions, or if not, what are the things you need to do to become champions? Again, in that empathetic mode. And you'll get opportunity to pitch in future cohorts also as you change. In fact, team Avagam didn't want to pitch today. They said, let's work on the VP first and we will go into pitching in the future cohorts. So they will not be pitching today. So that's why we got 9 pitches total. The order of the pitches is Athmik, followed by Oui, then IPA Enablers, then ZenXAI, then Gearsec, then TansuAI, then Restomart, ChaiMitra, and Phimach, right? So these are in order. 10 minutes strictly for pitch and 5 minutes for Q&A. Amritam will be the timekeeper. At 9 minutes, he'll tell you it's 1 minute left. And at the end of 10 minutes, he'll tell you timeout. We'll open the floor for Q&A. Request the panelists to raise their hands, or if there are no questions, you can, of course, pitch in and ask questions in that gap. Yeah. So I think we are ready to go. Best wishes to everyone. Have a wonderful pitch. Yeah, over to you, Team Athmik. You can share your pitch.
Okay, sounds good, Girish. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen first.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present, first of all. I'm Rupa Raj, founder and CEO of Athmik.ai. Quick context of why we exist. Most of the organizations globally today use ATS, which is applicant tracking system, HRMS, coding assessment, video interviews. So HR tech is like flooded with tools. In spite of that, hiring cycles are still slow, hard to explain. Job descriptions are inaccurate, and resume screening is ineffective with mostly keyword-based searches. That's because the HR tools have optimized different activities, not decisions. Athmik exists to fix that. Athmik is a decision intelligence platform that helps organizations make high-quality talent decisions at scale. So the platform is built by this core team that understands both complex systems as well as enterprise reality. I myself come from technology and enterprise product strategy background. I have built enterprise products for over 2 decades and taken them to market successfully for large organizations like VMware, Broadcom, Thomson Reuters, Verizon, and as well as Accenture. During my Accenture stint, I've also done one of the largest HRMS transformations. And I was also one of the pioneers to build conversation-based AI and improve employee engagement 10 years ago. So I've always been kind of connected to HR domain. And out of passion for this topic, I've also written a book focusing on employee productivity, leveraging AI. So that's about me and our core engineering. More importantly, customer experience and scalable MLOps. Ganesh is our business development head, who is also on the call with me today. We also have a lead HR consultant. What I want to highlight is we're not really building HR policy or process software. We are building decision infrastructure. So from HR change management perspective, we need some seniors. We do have some senior HR technology leaders, enterprise HR advisors, and GTM advisors who have led us, who led HRMS transformations and implemented large systems like Workday, SuccessFactors, etc. So they are our advisors. So this combination let us move fast, without being constrained by this legacy HR thinking and address the change management on the ground. So that's about the team. When it comes to TAM, today we are entering the market mostly as a talent decision intelligence software platform. So our immediate serviceable market is HR technology and talent acquisition software. However, our long-term opportunity is much bigger. Recruitment is fundamentally a labor-driven industry, right? So globally, companies spend over 500 billion annually, mostly towards recruitment labor. For example, there are over 400,000 recruiters in Asia alone. So as Athmik evolves from decision support to autonomous hiring agents, we move from selling software progressively replacing recruitment or the recruiter labor, which we call it as a digital recruiter. So which expands our addressable market quite dramatically. These are our current players. We have built what we call it as a decision or the talent decision system, TDS, a new category that sits above these ATS, HRMS, and assessments. So we're not really replacing them. So instead of starting with workflows, we start with simple decision, like what decision needs to be made and what evidences are required to make those decisions defensible. So our decision first architecture structures the decision first and then dynamically generates accurate job descriptions, right resume screening, interviews, evaluation, and the right evidence trail throughout the process. So the decisions drive the workflow. That's the key point, not the other way around. So Athmik is not just one product. It's a compounding platform that gets more powerful over time. So we are on a structural path from like software to workforce replacement layer. Our current value proposition is very simple. Athmik helps organizations hire right talent faster and with confidence. So cutting hiring cycles by 80%, reducing cost per hire CPH, which is one of the most critical KPIs for recruiters, by 50%, and also delivering 95% explainable accuracy. That's the key. Customers don't buy us because we are better than the tool they are already using, right? They buy us because the recruiters' overheads are completely eliminated, and the hiring managers engage only when it matters, not really from the beginning. And leadership finally gets the decision quality, the clarity at scale. With all these, we are able to deliver tangible business outcomes. On the GTM side of things, currently our allies include enterprise customers like KPMG. They are the ones who are extensively using the platform, piloting expansion use cases across employee engagement lifecycle. Sourcing partners use Athmik as a value-added layer. So going forward, we want to build like partnerships with these ATS partners or the HRMS platforms, SIs, etc. We already have integration APIs, and at an account level, we have done the integration. That's as requested by the customers, but we can potentially expand these partnerships directly with the HRMS partners. On the pricing side of things, we started with usage-based pricing to reduce just the friction, right? Just easy to sell. We now need to move into more of hybrid and subscription model. So what is being offered today, more from the platform perspective, is AI agents generate the evidence. agents recommend decisions with the confidence scores, and recruiters make the final decision as of now. In some cases, we also the platform also executes low-risk decisions autonomously. So we gradually want to move towards full autonomy, and Athmik moves to be a digital recruiter. That would be a huge disruption. Right? And as in when we expand into autonomous agent, the pricing model completely changes and it becomes per digital recruiter. Here is the benchmarking with the differentiation from the customer value dimension, which is the first column that you see here. Athmik can clearly add value and make a differentiation. The platform is also scalable. Just want to call out, Athmik has already demonstrated 50x to 100x scalability from the volume perspective. However, as I called out, what makes Athmik like uniquely scalable is not really the volume. It's that intelligence compounding over time. Here is the current traction, is the last 6 months, just the transaction volumes. Our transactions are predominantly is just the number of interviews, right? So here is the transaction volumes from the time we commercialized, which is 6 months ago. Here is a yearly revenue projections. This considers our current offering, with volumes scaling, interview volume scaling, simple math, 5,000 daily interviews will give us 10 million ARR approximately. But what I want to really call out is we can further accelerate this number as and when we move to digital recruiter agent layer. That gives us a significant exponential growth, because we could potentially achieve by this 2030 targets in 2029 itself, because if we have about 1,000 digital recruiter, our revenues will be 10 million just from that digital recruiter. Yeah. Just want to call that out. Here are our paying customers. These so far has been mostly referral based, and a couple of them are even inbound. But they are giving us testimonials tied to business outcomes. And while our pipeline is very, very healthy, some of our current customers are also asking us to solve adjacent decision problems. As I said, more into employee engagement conversations, exit conversations, etc., not just the hiring. So we definitely have huge cross-selling, upselling opportunities for these existing customers as well. Here are some approved testimonials. Happy to share the details, if need be. So here is the ask. So far, everything has been bootstrapped. We have raised friends and family rounds of about 90K, and the total investment that has gone so far is about 130K at a 2 million post-money evaluation. What we are seeking is a 1.5 million at a 20% dilution. Majority of it we actually needed towards sales and GTM expansion across the ecosystem, across more of a horizontal as well as vertical use cases. Right? This is mainly what I wanted to cover. So Athmik is building a decision layer for talent. That's the conclusion. Just like DevOps became a strategic decision layer for software development. So we are excited about what's ahead, and of course, we are grateful to SARTHY for pushing us to articulate not just what we have built and why it matters. So this is mainly what we wanted to cover. I'll take just 1 minute to show the platform. That way, you get to see how we are reducing the cycle time and also how we are generating the evidences. I'll stop sharing it. Ganesh, over to you. If you can please quickly share.
Yeah, 1 minute is left, by the way. So you're on time.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
This is how a sample report would appear on the Athmik platform. The entire report, the structure of the decisioning parameters assessed is all configurable and adjusted by the recruiters and the hiring manager as well. Some of the unique and proprietary functionality in Athmik is the cheat suspicion detection of fraudulent candidates, as well as the highly accurate communication analysis as well. Across any individual parameter, we are not just rating candidates on the overall scoring against that particular skill, but across various softer parameters like breadth, depth, and the authenticity of their answers across the entire interview.
Basically, whatever is needed to justify the decisions. Quickly go back, Ganesh. So at a job description level, we also kind of track what is the hiring cycle. Yeah, you see that this is what the customers are tracking, right? What is the hiring cycle and how is it, kind of compared to what their existing one? Here it is, this is for the KPMG, right? So you see the quickest cycle has been 4 hours, which is really record high, right? They will never be able to, this is from the time they upload the resume to conduct the interview and then make a decision, right? So this is how it is. So the platform, kind of shows the real time data. So this is what we wanted to cover. In the interest of time, I'll pause here and then happy to take up any questions.
Yeah, Ganesh, you can stop sharing the screen also. Yeah. So yeah, panel, we are open for questions. Kumar has also joined. Yeah. So we're open for questions from the panel. Anup, Raghu, Kumar, Pranav. You can stop sharing, Ganesh. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, questions from anyone? Okay. I think it was technical for many, Rupa, but no issues. I had a question around the competitor landscape because too many agents and too many solutions for interview and this. I didn't see any competitors who are direct. I saw only HRMS and those as competitors. Did you benchmark against direct competitors also globally?
Yes, if I can show the screen. Yes, we have benchmarked against just the coding assessment because today there are a lot of tools, right? ATS it kind of tracks the applicants. HRMS is more about, from then onwards, it tracks that more of a, detail. But to track this interview and from how the applicants are actually, or the reason why the applicants are moving from one stage to another, there are no tools. So when it comes to competitive landscape, Girish, there are a lot of tools which does portion of what we do in a different manner. But what we are trying to position is kind of sit on top of this as a decision layer, right? That's where we are differentiating. That is why we don't have a direct competitor. So for individual tools, we have many, which we have called out, literally hundreds of them, right? Which we have it.
But you're saying nobody is doing the full decision layer.
Not the decision layer, exactly.
Interview or CV assessment, everybody is doing one part of it only.
Yeah, that's right. When KPMG did the RFP, right, they have actually benchmarked us against 32. I have a very detailed report against that. There also we can see there are different categories of like tools, right, but not necessarily making the decisions across each of the steps and then like kind of showing that movement.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, any last questions before we go to the next pitch? Anyone?
Maybe I rushed it
the recording
very quickly.
No, you were fine. You were fine. It is fine. Yeah, but yeah.
Hi, Giri. This is Kumar here.
Yeah, go ahead, Kumar.
Hi, Rupa. One thing we need to understand here, how you are going to educate your customers or buyers that how you are differentiating, because in HRMS kind of atmosphere, as you rightly said, there are a lot of tools available. But to differentiate and showcase yourself that you are differentiated from the other tools, how you are going to communicate? This communication narration is going to play an important role.
Yes, absolutely, Kumar. You're absolutely right. How we are tackling that is because we are taking this more like a stepwise, mainly because of the change management aspect, and then bringing them the awareness. Right now, if I tell autonomous agent, digital, definitely is not going to fly, right? So what we have started with is it is able to conduct multiple rounds of interview for any skill, any domain, any experience level. That's all we are saying right now. Because any tools, even this coding assessment and all, it can do the coding only for this open source tools like Python, Java, etc. Right? For example, if you want for ServiceNow, SAP, there are no tools there today that can do the interview. So we are positioning only with that. And then we said, anyway, you're progressing from resume screening to interview with certain rule based. Why don't we configure that and make that layer autonomy? That's all we have achieved right now. Later on, we want to kind of move into full autonomy. Autonomy is not going to come right now, right? It's a journey. We need to, gain the confidence, the trust, and then at account level only we can get to autonomy. And then eventually digital recruiter. Digital recruiter also I've already pitched in, because I'm not telling, you get rid of all the recruiters. I'm just telling take one workforce, agentic workforce, because that's what they want to do. Large organizations want to do. So that way it can perform like a junior recruiter kind of a role independently. And then, it's a journey. Definitely it's a stepwise approach.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Kumar. So I think it's the right direction for Athmik in terms of building our application layer using its AI native startup. So yeah, good job, Rupa and team. Let's go to the second startup for today, which is Oui Medical. Over to you, Adarsh. I can share with Dr. Adarsh. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
I request the panel to also put your rating while the pitches are going on. You can alternatively also go through the recording and put the ratings later, but we'll be compiling the ratings day after tomorrow. So you have time till tomorrow to put your ratings.
Yeah. So shall I start?
Please go ahead, Adarsh.
Yeah. Thank you again for providing this opportunity, and good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Adarsh. I'm a minimal access surgeon based off Bangalore and founder of Oui Medical, and I'm presenting world's first scope for abdominal cavity examination. And we have already received an FDA clearance and patents granted for this device. So the problem we are solving is that whenever there is a problem in the abdomen, physicians have to first conduct non-invasive tests. For example, whenever there is a problem, first we do an ultrasound and screening ultrasound. Many other times, then there is a suspicion. Then we send that patient to CT scan for a clearer view. And CT scan again has its own limitations, and it's not conclusive in many a times. And then we send for a PET scan. These again are many a times not conclusive. So in a whole, around 30% of the patients, these imaging fails. They are inconclusive. And then clinicians have to decide whether these patients require surgery or not, which is a very critical decision. And this is very difficult to achieve using the existing non-invasive tests. Then to get a definitive answer, we need to send these patients for a surgery in the form of diagnostic laparoscopy or laparotomy. Surgeries are risky, expensive, and painful for patients. So just to give an example here, so there is a case of abdominal cancer, stomach cancer, and they did all the scans, and all the scans were clear. Then the patient was taken up for a surgery, and then we opened up the abdomen, and we found that the cancer had spread to the peritoneum all over the abdomen. So these white dots you are seeing are that the cancer has spread to the peritoneum. We call them peritoneal secondaries, and these cannot be picked up by CT, MRI, PET scan, because the lesions that are less than 5 millimeters cannot be picked up by these tests. The result was the patient underwent a surgery, and after opening, they had to abandon the surgery because the patient had already spread, the cancer had already spread. The patient ended up with an unnecessary surgery, with a scar on the abdomen, a large scar on the abdomen, and money and time lost, and also these patients are very sick, and they also are very burdened with these procedures. So to overcome all these problems, we have developed a scope to examine abdominal cavity under local anesthesia. So we give a local anesthesia. We give a local anesthesia on the abdominal wall, a tap block. If required, we confirm with an ultrasound. This is the device. It's completely disposable. It has an optical port, balloon, a light source, and a camera and a screen to visualize inside. We make a small nick, introduce this device under vision. We'll go layer by layer without injuring any internal organs. Once we are inside, we put some atmospheric air to make some space. We introduce this device inside. We can have a look inside the abdominal cavity. This is the intestine, omentum, and the liver. If required, we pass a biopsy forceps and take a biopsy. There is an option for irrigation and suction as well, and release all the air, remove the port, and this procedure is performed under local anesthesia, and the patient is awake. So for clinicians, it's instant diagnosis, no OR, no anesthesia required, and this procedure can be performed in ER, ICU, or physicians' clinics as well. For patients, it's very low risk, no hospital stay, it's cost effective, and less painful as well. So we are enabling faster, safer way to decide whether patient requires surgery or not. So one of the initial beachhead market for us is sepsis. sepsis means there is an infection in body and it has spread to all the organs like kidney, liver, heart, and lungs, etc. And this is a very medical emergency, and presently it carries a 8% mortality risk every hour. So these patients die within 12 to 24 hours if not treated. So 25% of these sepsis arise from abdominal problems, and presently, if not treated, 100% of these patients die. So we presently what happens is that whenever suspected sepsis case presents, we do some CT, ultrasound, and many times these are inconclusive. Then we have to do further tests. We have to shift these patients. Shifting means disconnecting all the tubes for like a ventilator or a dialysis or a heart pump. And many studies have shown that shifting means 70% increase in death for these patients. And again, if we want to take these patients for surgery, the OR waiting time is like 12 to 24 hours. So again, which leads to, and again, surgeries means again a trauma to these patients. And presently, with all the advancements, the outcome in these patients is very bad. So with our device, whenever there is a suspected sepsis, we can go inside in an ICU in the bedside. We can go inside, have a look, and get a definitive diagnosis instantly, which means quick diagnosis, quick treatment for these patients. Well, the bedside laparoscopy has been proven answer. There are around 11 studies and 400 patients that wherein they bought in the laparoscopy in an ICU, performed these copies, and they all concluded that such procedures should be performed whenever the investigations are inconclusive. However, these laparoscopes are made to be used inside the OR. Bringing them to ICU means bringing entire OR to ICU. Hence, this procedure is not widely adopted. However, our scope is the first tool that is made to make this feasible at scale. So for patients, these studies have shown that it decreases the mortality rate by 20% and avoids unnecessary surgeries by 50% and change in clinical management by 70%. For clinicians, it improves patient care in instant diagnosis, and for hospitals, it lowers cost and improves efficiency. Especially in ICU patients, it has a significant financial impact. In a well-running hospital, ICU generates about 40% of the hospital revenues, and US the occupancy rate in ICU is around 80 to 90%, and presently if we can avoid a surgery for these patients, we are saving around $20,000, and if with the quick diagnosis, with quick treatment, if we are saving 3 days of ICU stay for these patients, it costs around 10K per day for ICU patients in sepsis. So we are saving around 30K. Again, hospitals can put another patient on this bed and earn another 30,000 for 3 days. So we are saying that for every $2,000 worth of the device sold, the hospital can generate around 50 to $80,000. Presently, the hospital gets a fixed amount of 100K for a sepsis patient, and presently they all are making losses because usually the sepsis patient overstays beyond the 10 days, and presently the expenses are much more than the revenue. So our contract manufacturing cost is around $200. We sell these devices at $2,000 with a gross margin of 90%, and we are covered in existing CPT codes in US. So sepsis, around 62 billion spent annually in US, 1.7 million cases. 30% of these cases are because of abdominal problems. Sepsis time is critical, and 80% of sepsis could be prevented. Deaths could be prevented if treated in time. So as of now, around TAM of around 1 billion for the sepsis itself, which is a beachhead market with 540K patients and 11% of unexplained sepsis. That makes the SAM of around 340 million and 100 million of SOM with 40% market penetration. This is the beachhead market for US only. However, again, US forms around 30% of the global medtech market. So it has other applications, as I said, in oncology for staging of abdominal cancers, in general surgery for liver biopsy, In trauma, like liver or spleen lacerations, in road traffic accidents, we can go inside, have a look and get a quick diagnosis. Women's health, many miscellaneous and future applications. We did a bottom-up analysis for these patients. We estimated the patient volumes and multiplied by the device cost, and the global TAM is around $40 billion and the US TAM is around $4 billion. So we have a classic razor blade business model. The scope is, the display is reusable. So we sell the display and lock the hospital, and then we sell the reusable scope, which is reusable. So again, as of now, we have
Just a gentle reminder, you have 1 minute left. 1 minute left.
Most of the de-risked, product validated, IP secured in India, Australia, and EU, FDA already granted. We have contract manufacturers in place, and we have a great interest from in US from MD Anderson, Stanford, and we have already achieved a pilot site at Tampa General Hospital in US. And I'm Dr. Adarsh. I'm a minimal access surgeon with 15 years of experience. My co-founder Thomas has 30 years of medtech experience, 3 exits. Rachel is a biomedical engineer with 15 years of experience in marketing medical devices and launched 7 products. Ashley comes from J&J and MD Anderson. She has 20 years of experience of scaling businesses in a whole. The team has brought many devices to market in US. We have a great clinical advisory board and business advisory board as well. So as of now, we are raising an urgent round of 300K at a 3 million valuation. These funds will be mainly used for initial 2-3 pilots in flagship hospitals and follow-on clinical studies and probably early sales as well. So we are targeting a revenue of around 100 million by 2030. However, we need to generate around 500,000 sales to generate $1 billion revenue globally. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Adarsh, and good presentation again. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and a good solution also. I really love what you are doing, and it's global. So both the presentations we've seen till now, these are global solutions, US being a big market for both hiring also and medical devices also. And so then they've targeted the FDA approvals. So they are planning from day one to be a global player. So yeah, we open the forum for questions. Yeah, you can stop sharing others that we can see the. Yeah, any questions? The panel has limited medical background because we try to keep it sector agnostic. Yeah, but still we are open for questions, and of course we'll be sharing the recording. You can even ask questions later on. But any questions, anyone? Pranav, any questions? I think no questions. We'll send you the questions later, Adarsh, but we are recording this and we'll be sharing it with the panel also later. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Adarsh. Good presentation again. Yeah. Team IP Enablers. We can go to Team IP Enablers. You can share the screen and start your speech. Again, IP Enablers is a HR tech, L&D tech, AI native startup. So let's see what they have to share.
Jay, you're on mute.
I think he's on mute.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Okay, let me. So, hi and good evening. I'm Ajay, and I'm the co-founder of IPA Enablers. IPA Enablers is building Impact ELS. ELS stands for Enterprise Learning Solution, but the real purpose of Impact ELS is to be an enterprise capability execution engine. And we will be the global first patent pending capability execution engine for enterprises across the globe. We're starting with India first. What it does is it helps organizations move from pure training activity to validated performance change at work with measurable ROI. So what we're trying to solve and what we're solving is a very real and persistent problem that organizations are grappling with today. Now, sorry. As a team, we have about close to 100 years plus of experience across the learning to performance, the market side, and the technical side of the entire problem. And we've built over the last 10, 15 years programs that have delivered measurable outcomes for organizations. And we have showcased a 770% ROI from a learning program. And we've got 2 Brandon Hall gold medals for delivering the same on a global scale. So we are trying to address this for the first time in the market. And we've seen this problem firsthand where capability is not really happening because the efforts and the systems that are available in the market are not delivering what they should, and therefore they consistently fail. Now, if you look at the enterprise problem that is there, over the years, we've seen enterprises have the same problem. They're spending more and more every year. Training programs look very, very good on paper. But when CEOs ask, so what changed? And I've asked as a CEO, nobody can answer what changed in productivity, what changed in behavior, what changed in outcomes or business impact. There's absolutely no clue. And when you quantify this absolute lack of outcomes, it's about $1.2 trillion annually in the US itself. And in India, even conservative estimates is too big a number to ignore. And this, with current day pressures on ROI, is leading to huge pressures on capability execution. So that's where we want to be. We want to own this problem and we want to solve this problem. Now you might wonder, okay, organizations are spending, so why should there be a problem? Why is it not changing? Now, if you look at it, in typical learning training approaches, the first mile and the last mile are missing. Organizations train because they have a challenge and they want to solve that challenge and they want to see the business outcome. So which means it starts from goals, it should end at outcomes and ROI. But if you look at every training program, and I'm sure all of you have worked in organizations, you would know, you as participants of training programs, it's only about concepts and knowledge. It ends in the classroom or it ends on the screen. So everything is designed for content. It is not designed for application at work because that's assumed. They think that it'll work. I know something and I will go implement and I will implement it at work. It's not going. So the first mile and last miles are absolutely missing in the entire space. And this is what is causing that leakage that is happening. And this is what is happening, causing the disconnect between training or learning spends and outcomes. So what do we do? What's our solution? Our solution is we want to own the entire thing. We want to have from goal to ROI and everything in between. So we will align the entire system to what the organization's goals are and ensure that the entire path that the organization and the learner go through takes them through the process that will help them not just know, but deliver at work what is required. That delivery can be measured, and therefore that measure leads to an ROI. So this is the full loop that we want to own. And when we own this loop, absolutely something transformative happens, because there's today nobody in the world owns this loop. Everybody owns a part of it, or actually speaking, they only own the content part of it. They don't own anything else. So to put it very succinctly, nobody owns the goal to ROI loop completely. And therefore, when we own it, we're no more edtech. We are in the business of enterprise productivity and ROI. So we become a system of record for organizations for their capability execution journeys. So once we get embedded in organizations, we are then hard to replace because it becomes a system of record. Now, what's our traction and what's our validation? as I said, we are dealing with a persistent and real problem. So it's not theoretical. We have showcased in the past a 770% ROI by showcasing that there is a possibility of outcomes that can be measured. And we measured a 13% improvement in productivity, a 6% improvement in CSAT and NPS, and a 68% improvement in retention. And this we've delivered for the last 10 years across 20 countries and about 50K learners. And we've, as I said, got 2 Brandon Hall gold medals. We've also validated this problem with organizations which have about 600,000 employees, and demand is coming from CEOs and CHROs that I want a solution like this if you can give it to me. And we've secured $3.5 million worth of EOIs. Now, you might ask, where is the competition and what are they doing? Put simply, the structural gap is coming up here. Everybody, be it LMSs, tech platforms, or professional learning platforms like LinkedIn or Coursera kind of content platforms, or even credential platforms like Upgrad and all that, they own just part of it. They don't own. So in fact, it's mostly yellow and red. We are the only people who will do everything that the organization wants from goal to outcome and deliver what is required. So what's that market like? The entire market is about 360 billion globally, but in India, it's about $2 billion. And for capability execution at enterprise level, it's about $30 to $40 billion. And we are poised to deliver about 275 million ARR by year 6 with the enterprise first wedge and then move into adjacent categories. At a pricing anchor, we are ensuring that we will provide value and we will deliver what is required. We are not taking any extra money from organizations. It will be part of the existing budgets that they will do. And we have existing relationships with organizations that we want to capitalize on. This is our path to revenue. We want to start off small, stabilize the platform, and then scale it up. First to India, as I said, and then globally. But again, it's not a trajectory. We can also go directly global from once we have the pilots confirm that everything is working fine. So we need about $1.5 million to achieve this plan right now. The core spend for this is to build the MVP, run the pilots, and ensure that everything is stable for scale up. So we, as I said, are enabling enterprises to move from training activity to validated capability at work. There's nobody else in the market with just this entire cycle, and we are poised to capture that market at scale globally. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. Yeah, we open for questions. In fact, Gupta has a question on how do you intend to measure the SKAs and how do you demonstrate ROI and tie it to value?
Okay,
you can answer that question.
I can just share my screen once to show how our platform works, and
Please.
I can probably take that answer. So if you look at this is a prototype platform. Now, these are goals. The goals that organization has is monthly revenue, win rate, pipeline coverage, and all that. This is for a salesperson. It changes for an ops person kind of thing. Now, when it runs, we take in the performance inputs that organizations, that the personal performance inputs are. So which means we are able to personalize the learning. And then we get them through a learning needs assessment that helps them understand where they are and helps the system understand where they are. We create a learning path for them. And that learning path translates to learning execution. And as they progress through the learning execution, we are able to showcase to them how it changes in the numbers as such. So your skills, how they're moving, how it generates, and then finally the ROI in terms of, okay, you started here, you moved here through this learning program, and that's the delta, and that's the ROI that you've got. So we can showcase that ROI on those parameters because everything is mapped at a skill, behavior, competency level. And that is what is driving performance. I hope I've answered that question.
Yeah, Gupta, have you got your answer or any follow-on question? Okay, he's got the answer. Cool.
Right now, we can move on. Girish, I think it's a pitch. We should just see from that perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? No? No more questions?
Okay, I do have one question if it is. How
Yeah,
are
go
you
ahead.
different from DAPs?
Sorry?
How are you different from DAPs? The digital adoption platforms are also attempting very similar, but from the tool perspective. You are addressing the end of the day, I want to adopt the technology or a solution so that I want to do the work and accelerate, get the work done.
So we're not just an adoption platform. We own the entire cycle of capability execution from goal to ROI. So we're including all the assessments, we're including the content, and we're including the measurement metrics as well as the application at work. So we're not just content, or we're not just a platform where somebody consumes a video or something like that. So it owns the entire thing. It works with the leadership managers to ensure that there is, on a daily basis, what's being improved is measured and ascertained.
Thank you, Ajay.
Yeah, thanks, Gupta, for the question. Yeah. Anyone else has any question? Yeah. So thanks, team IPA Enablers. We'll go to the next pitch for today, which is ZenXAI. Hari Vikash, you can share your screen and share ZenXAI.
Yes, sure. Allow me a minute.
Yes. So ZenXAI is solving the customer management using Voice AI. It's a AI agent. So yeah, over to you, Hari.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, and hello panel. Hi. So first of all, before starting, I'll give you a brief introduction of us. Like we are Zenvoice, we are voice AI agents for the world. We bring voice AI for the world, which means like wherever we see omni-channel voices, which means like IVOS, like press 1 for get this thing, press 2 to get the customer care, press 3 for this service. We are replacing that as an point. So that is where we are focused on. That's the first motto. And I'll give you a brief introduction of us. And it's me, Hari Vikash. I'm the co-founder of Zenvoice, where we were a marketing agency for almost 4 years. While we starting, we had one issues. While reaching out the business team, I was keep on having same issues. I'll train my telecallers. They will leave in 2 or 3 months. Again, I have to train the second batch, and they will leave in next batch. So that is the main problem. It was keep on erasing me. At the same point of time, I can show you one person, this little girl. Like I show you this little. I hope my screen is visible. Okay, this little girl asked me one question. Why can't you put an AI for that so that it will optimize your leads and it will give you the results? That spark from the girl to our company, it tremendously ensure we are in a right way, so that we created one motto saying we have to pre-qualify the leads, so that using voice agents, so that the clients as well as the companies can use it wisely. On in which way? In totally the pre-qualify leads, not the junk leads. They can easily remove the junk leads, so that from that point of time, we increase the productivity of employees, as well as we reduce the team size of telecallers in customer service, business, those kind of activities also be taken care. So that was our small motto. After that, we got a vision. Okay, we have to start building wherever the humans are speaking, we have to be there. That's why we are built to speak and to be heard everywhere. And also we were looking into the product in the market. We see lot of competitors, like you can name even Exotel, that is one of the biggest provider. You can say TeleCMA, one of the biggest provider, and even 11 labs. You can see lots and lots of promotion using for 11 labs and all. We started using those kind of languages. We figured out, okay, these languages, these point of contact of human, it is not humanized languages. And also we figured out these kind of modules are only kind of feel robotic into it. We can't put nature, like a humanized nature into it. So that is where we strongly believe, okay, this market will work. Add on to this, we have to hit for another thing. where Google and Apple is again creating almost 4 billion people to use to generate voices, because this market is so big, because most of the people start using live interactions, which like they started to introduce like conversational AI kind of things. That is where the history of voice agents started. For example, in 1970s or 2000, that IVR started. Then omni-channel, only recorded model will be coming. Right now, almost each people, which means like the who are exposed to AI, started to believe the conversational AI is working. With this report, we started to generate our experiment with the voice agents and the pilot stage. Trust me, we made 100 calls out of it, where it was only 11 people started to respond to that AI agent because they know it is an AI agent speaking. In a second phase, which means in an expansion phase, we started to same trial 100 calls. It was like 34 calls has been recorded, and now it's in a maturity phase. You won't believe me, it's almost 77 calls has been recorded. It's like people are responding to the AI despite knowing it's AI agent is talking. So there is a behavioral shift. Most of the people started cutting the calls at the start, but now the behavioral shift matters. So at the end, we got the research done, so that the market shift is taken care. Almost things, these are the almost most small things we focused on. So that's why we create voice agents. In that voice agents, we are right now focusing on 16,000 words per day, and also all we have to be there in the almost all phone almost all phones in the voice agent platforms, and also phone calls are universal APIs for the business. I hope most of the companies still now using phones, telecallers, business team for using serving customers. In that aspect, we want to crack that market and we want to get in. That is, I will give you a small stat on it. Like there are 62 small business calls has been unanswered. Even most of the people start dialing. They won't get the answer from their customers, so that we hop in, we function the conversational AI, whereas they can call to this particular number. The AI agent will pre-qualify whether he is interested or not, or whether he wants to book an appointment or not. In that matter, we have created our own agent. And let me explain how the AI agent will work. Basically, normally our competitors, they use an enterprise telephony, WebRTC, and infrastructure, knowledge base, and domestic call flow from N18 or something like, and also conversation model using 11 labs or whatsoever. This is the bits and parts of pieces we have to build for voice AI. You can see what lots of videos videos in YouTube itself. Like this is the one ultimate panel to build a voice AI. But we simplifies that. If an end customer is coming into Zenvoice, which is it's a voice agent platform, they can easily they can easily connect Indian numbers as well as the abroad, like US numbers or any global numbers, so that they can connect their agent, they can create the prompt, and they can automatically press click. The AI agent will be ready in within 10 minutes, so that the knowledge base is also inbuilt in the prompt itself. That's how we have simplified it. So it is easy peasy way, right? And I can understand most of the people here wants to adapt this. That is why we came for a two motto thing. One is we have to serve all the conversational, we have to eradicate the IVR, and we have to go for most conversational part. And the second point is we have to be so clear. We are here positioning it as a pre-qualifying leads. We are here to qualify your leads. That's how it is. And also we are engaged in WhatsApp to WhatsApp chatbot and WhatsApp calling also into be integrated. So that's why we position our platform as it's a pre-qualifying lead platform using voice agents. It's a conversational AI. That is our mission. You think, okay, you have finished almost everything. What's the problem? How it works and everything. But who and all are using this platform? Most of the people we serve right now, because I was serving as a marketing agency for last 4 years. Then only we started this company. It's been 1.5 years. We have built this product and we are into this market. Most importantly, they are they are easily coming into the B2B space. They want their agent to speak to a layer 3 conversion. Trust me, I have made almost 1 lakh calls per month, but my hard conversation from layer 1 to layer 3 conversion is 4, hardly 4. So I mostly suggest people to go for layer 1 conversions. And from that layer 1 conversions, I easily get into this kind of sectors. One is like we have a market scope, which is, I hope you can see Sam, Tom, Som and all. But I can easily say we are expected a market of $3.83 billion market, whereas in India alone it's an 87.3 million market. But the CAG, like we are expecting a CAG ratio of 30% as a compound annual growth rate. This is the annual growth rate we are looking for. And most importantly, I don't think like we target 1% or 2%. We have to acquire, we have to increase minutes out of it. How you think like increase minutes out of it is? Yes, we have two segments of opportunity. It is a existing calling volume, whereas marketing and tech, insurance, banking,
Sorry to
e-com,
interrupt.
healthcare, real
Just a
estate,
gentle reminder.
these are
Yeah, 1 minute left. 1 minute left, please.
okay. These are the existing segments we have. But with our new calling, like we can use AI companions, child's toys, robots, and small smart apps. These are the new segments we are yet to tap on it. And also our clients. We have served most of the important clients in India, and also like I hope Agarwal's Packers and Movers, you have known for them for traveling packages. We have we have revived data of all data of 32%. We have revived it and ensured the prospect of 8.7% increase in their revenue on their old data alone, whereas their base ticket price is 23K per month, 23K per travel. So that is how we do, and we do have competitors, but we generally see competitors as human, but not others as a competitor. And also we have benchmarked it too. We have benchmarked as like in the competitors way. Most of the boot time, we have 3 seconds of boot time. Our latency is increased and the functional calling is increased. We have ensured we have the emotions and naturalness inside the voice. So in that way only, we can easily make sure that other customers or client will feel the naturalness of the voice agents. So that's how we look into the benchmarks. And our revenue system is like we are not for subscription here. We are have one-time setup cost, and as well as the permanent cost. That's the main reason we are bringing in revenue. And most importantly, our revenue for the first year it was 71 lakhs, and right now we are in a MRR of 14 lakhs per month. That's our MRR right now. So I can proudly say we have jumped more than that, and I have expected the revenue to 2 CR this closing year. So that was my revenue. That was my expected revenue this financial year. And yes, we have partnered with telephony providers, TeleCMA and Exotels. Even you can use 11 Lab voices in our platform. Though we have our own voice, because we use S2S model, which is speech to speech model. And yes, we are here to ask about 5CR, where our 35% of funds goes for product development, others for marketing and salary expenses, which is like infrastructure expenses to burn our GPUs to test our voice agents. So that is what our funding utilization works. And I asked the panel to hustle on the founder, because trust the founder, because he brings in revenue, and we made a profit out of percentage in the first year of making, and we are into the second year. We are yet in the profit stage. So that's why we are looking for funds to scale up more, and our competitors are in the market. To crack this market, we have to scale a lot. So yes, so thank you so much for this opportunity, Grish.
Yeah, thanks, Arvikash. Although I would have loved to see a demo also of your product, but we're out of time. We'll see it later. Yeah, we're open for questions.
Yeah, open for questions. Yes.
Yeah, panel, any questions? Raghu, Anup, Kumar, Gupta, any questions? Anyone else has any questions? Anyone else is a user of Voice AI, may convert to a user of Voice AI in the future for their customer engagement, management, nurturing. Yeah, anyone else? Bolna.
Bolna, yes. I have a interesting. Bolna works with, okay, I have two answers for this. One is on the technical aspect. Yes, they are the bigger player in the market, but we do compete on them. One is on the latency part. Bona has 3 seconds of a latency, whereas we have a latency. We are matching with Bona 3 seconds as a Bona latency, and on the boot time we are matching the boot time on the 3 seconds as a boot time. But right now we are figuring out to go for a 2 second boot time. That is the one point in the competing aspect, and the third aspect is on the naturalness building. Trust me, you have to hear my recordings or something like that, so that you can easily get into know how naturalist it is there, because we are using background musics, background audios to make it realistic. So in naturals and effective point of view, we are the I think we are way better than Bono on that point. And also pricing, I can say we are giving it out of 4 rupees per minute per plus GST. That is the very base price you can expect in the market compared to Bolna. Yes.
Yeah, so my take on this, Hari, is that there will be sector specialists who will win the game, who are with deep domain expertise, be it in fintech, be it in consumer, right? So there are different companies with different need from voice agents, and they want people to empathize with their business first and then build voice agents rather than jumping in on latency. What you mentioned is still uh, industry agnostic, but the folks who will win will be vertical specialists, right? And you heard the previous pitches also. It came from deep domain expertise to solve the domain's problems using AI.
Yes, add on to that, I can honestly say on that point, we are here to pre-qualify your leads. Bolnar does not.
Okay, so that's a good initial choice, but for Dash industry is something you have to dwell over, and the pitching also has to improve, Hari, right? You have to be less emotional, more crisp in your pitch delivery. So do practice, right? Okay. Thanks, and the best wishes. Yeah, the next pitch for the day is Gearsec. Gearsec is an invitee startup who's sharing their pitch. They are from the uh, identity security domain. Yeah, over to you, Team Gearsec.
Hey guys, hi. Yashodhan here.
Yeah, go ahead, Yashodhan.
Yeah, give me just a minute. I'm just pulling up the slides. Hold on.
We've got Anup and others who are experts in this in terms of cybersecurity and
Understood.
yeah, so that would be really nice for them to understand and take it forward. Yeah, go ahead.
In just 1 minute, I'm seeing to. I don't really know how this works. Okay, so if I start to name, and then if I go back here.
You want me to switch, go to the next one, and you settle your tech issues?
Yeah, just let me know if you guys are able to see this. Then
Yeah,
I
we
think
can see the screen. Yeah, we can see the screen.
okay, amazing. Awesome. Cool. Sorry, how many minutes do I have? Because I think I wasted a little bit of time.
No, we have 9-10 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, because I didn't know if the. Cool. So we are building Gearsec, which is essentially short for gear security. And we are trying to build I'm not going to say it's the next generation of IAM or anything like that. What we're simply trying to do is we're trying to take traditional access management policies, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to eliminate the concept of static credentials out of it. We're trying to eliminate the concept of standing access, and essentially bring different fragmented products that you have today. Some that are built for humans, some for agents, some for machines, and we're trying to bring all of that under the same philosophy. Right. Yeah. And the way we are doing this is essentially through something known as policies and roles. For folks who are from the cybersecurity background, this is very, very similar to how AWS roles and things like that work, right? You pick an entity, you write a role for that entity, and you attach policies against it, and and you give conditionals, right? You say, hey, I would love access from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I would love access if some other system suddenly has gone bonkers, things like that. And once you set the policy, essentially our platform, which is deeply integrated into the organization, will simply start providing access based on those roles and policies. Right. How did I come to the problem statement? Who am I? Who is my co-founder? What do we do? What have we been doing? Right. So I'm Yashodhan. I've been working in cybersecurity for the last 7, 8 years at this point. And essentially, I have dealt with all kinds of attacks. I've dealt with attacks against AWS infrastructure. I've dealt with attacks where, our endpoint devices, which is laptops and things like that, were compromised. And I've dealt with, very recently of late, I've dealt with issues with AI being, an attack vector. And I can tell you, even though all of that sounds fancy, the core of the problem essentially comes back to development teams and, employees in general, right? What happens is you have different access mechanisms for different systems, right? I've listed a few. You have hard-coded keys, environment files. Again, this is slightly technical, but essentially think of these as configurations that you need to, access different systems. Oftentimes, you have teams that are building a product, you have teams that are trying to go to market, you have teams that are trying to build out your sales and marketing internal policies, and then on top somewhere there is a security team, right? And they are asked to essentially figure out what can they do to secure the team's operations and make sure that the organization as a whole remains intact while these guys go and perform their job functions, right? And often at the crossroads are essentially credentials, the static credentials or the standing access, right? Somebody comes in and says, hey, we are building a new AI agent. We would love for you to give us access to, let's say, Salesforce, right? Or in case if you're building something in voice, you would give access to the CRM just to pull customer notes, things like that. And then because you request that access, it stays with that agent, with the system that's running the agent practically forever, right? What we've seen is you have database passwords going back 20 plus years. You have CRM access being given to people who are no longer in the organization. You have things like this that essentially create a big impact. And then now that you have all of this, right, this is where the problem comes in, right? You have a broken system which is being being centrally governed through a security team in hopes that it works. And in 2025, it didn't work. A lot of people were impacted. Business operations were impacted. In fact, the next slide will essentially go into, this will go into what was the impact, right? The thing is, every time there is a data breach, right? This is what the problem statement that I explained, right? What it causes is a loss of revenue. It causes a loss of reputation, a loss of goodwill with the public, right? And what is happening is, as this happens, the attacks get more and more sophisticated, and the amount of PR damage that they get is a lot, right? As of today, if you are aware with a few of the market trends and things like that, a lot of people are negative on the use case of AI simply because they do not think that their data will remain secure, right?
Yeah, Shilin, you've got limited time, so let's go to the solution validation
Yeah,
track.
sure. Lovely. Yeah. My next slide is in fact the solution. So Yeah. Now coming to the solution, right? What we do. What we've done is essentially we've built out an identity fabric, and what we've done is we built out essentially these chains, right? That what we do is we tie the human that's trying to interact with the AI system together, right? We say X user is working with a Y agent, and we kind of track them through the workflow. And when we do that, as and when we know that the agent is trying to access one of these services, there are many more. What happens is we use this chain and then we figure out who the user is, we figure out their access, and then we inject just those required bits of permissions, and then they use that. So even if you have two users, one accessing his insurance documents, if you're going through a call center agency, and you have another user that is accessing, let's say, his medical records, um, even though they're widely different systems, each of those agents will only require credentials for that specific task for that specific user. And once that call is done, let's say those credentials are destroyed, right? That entire access is gone. That's essentially how the whole solution works, right? In a single slide. Coming to the size of market, I know these numbers sound ludicrous. They're fairly large. They may seem unresearched. But the thing is, we have considered the entire IAM segment rather than just the specific PAM segment in which we operate. We know for a fact that the entire market in general grows at a 12% CAGR, with PAM growing much, much faster than that. And what we've done is we've assumed a 4% market penetration. That is what these numbers represent for us, right? Coming to the competitive landscape, yes, almost all of our competitors operate globally. Very few Indian players in this space, specifically in the in the PAM space, right? And essentially, we are trying to directly compete against Beyond Trust and CyberArk, right? Those are our biggest competitors. Yes. Now, business model. So as of today, we are not revenue positive. We like to call ourselves as post-product pre-revenue. We are working with our advisors, and we have a panel of CISOs. We are working with them to get this product installed in organizations, and because these are enterprise deals, it typically takes us around 6 to 8 months, and we only finished the product and all those things a couple of months ago, back in November. So we have ongoing conversations with a few customers, and we expect revenue to start coming in as early as maybe April, right? April or May. But yeah, this is the business model that we have. We have a SaaS subscription, enterprise licenses. We do have DPDP compliance and audit export for organizations operating in India. And as it is with most of the cybersecurity services, the support is something that we will specifically charge for, simply because in my experience of using systems over the last 7, 8 years, support has been the most abysmal in terms of just how the product operates. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's a little bit about my co-founder, who unfortunately is not on the call today. He had a prior engagement. But yeah, that is about us, and that is about Gearsec. I would love to take questions now. If you guys have any, feel free.
How much do you plan to raise? And
So right now we are planning to raise $150,000, 150K.
okay,
Yeah. We've applied to YC, we've applied to a couple of other accelerators. We have been selected in Alchemist. Yeah. We have been selected in Alchemist. Just there's some immigration issues that I need to deal with on my end personally. But yeah, 150K is what we're looking at.
Yeah, open for questions. Go ahead, Raghu.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Yashodhan. Right, so you seem to have a nice product and you seem to have at least a good thought around. So I just had a small question. See, in a space like this where you have some really large standardized players, I mean, let's talk about a ServiceNow or many of those kind of players. So how difficult is it for them to kind of get into the space that you are in and then move this out? Because I really don't see that that differentiator yet in the in the product kind of a thing. So how would you view this whole process?
Right. That's a good question actually, because that's something we get a lot. So the biggest differentiator that we have versus someone that's very large in the space is simply the fact that um, the the engine that we've built, essentially, right? The engine that we've built, it does not require you to have standing integration assets all over the organization. So what we claim is that we do not need to have if you take the case of CyberArk, which is what something we've been closely studying and trying to monitor. CyberArk typically requires you to install like 15 other different components within the organization, 10 other components that are pushed through MDM solutions, things like that. Our call to fame is that we are fairly easy to integrate. We have only two major components. And the other thing is that we have a near 1:1 parity with AWS roles, which is something that not a lot of these competitors have. And they take that existing model and just, extend it. And the other thing is that essentially what a CyberArk does is they they have vaults and they have this huge people management thing, but they do not remove the concept of standing access, right? Whereas in our model, we essentially eliminate credentials and standing access altogether, which is something that CyberArk or any of the other competitors simply do not do today. And if you're looking at that specific niche, there are three companies today that are competitors. One of them being Achilles, who just raised $70 million a couple of months ago. The other ones are two small players, and the one major player that recently got bought was Signal by CrowdStrike for around $700 million. So it's a fairly growing space in the PAM segment. Sorry, if I go back a few slides, it's a fairly growing
Please,
space.
yeah, no issue. Yeah, sure. We go to the next one also. Yeah.
Sure.
Raghu, any follow-on question, or you got your answer?
No, I think I'm fairly good on this.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anup, anyone else? Any questions?
Girish, thank you. Just wanted to understand on the deployment, how easy is it, or would it be? Is there any constraints on platform limitations?
No, in fact, we support everything from on-premise to cloud to serverless. Only limitation that we really have is the fact that we support LTS operating systems -2. So if LTS is, let's say, 10, we'll support operating version 10, 9, and 8. So if you have something, let's say Ubuntu 16, which is legacy and end of life today, we don't support that. We will support Ubuntu, let's say 22, 24, things like that. Essentially, LTS versions we support on all platforms.
Okay. And the second question is, the policies are dynamic, right? It keeps on changing. So what is the turnaround?
Right. So what we do is when you describe policy, I have a demo and everything set up. I could probably walk you through it, but essentially, when you describe policies, right, you describe it in terms of conditionals and in terms of what you're trying to access. So you say, I want XYZ person to have access to let's say the database, in case the pager duties in case there is a pager duty alert that says the database is not working correctly. That is something that you can do. You can say, give people access in Bangalore in the night time in case something has gone wrong, right? Or you can say, you can basically build it out like that. So it's a dynamic policy that you build.
And it can be implemented quickly.
The experience is the same as AWS roles. You just log into the platform, you build out the policies, and you hit save. It just works.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is the experience.
Thanks, Anup. Yeah. So good interaction. We'll get back to Yaswadan. Yeah. Thanks for your pitch.
Thank you.
The next pitch is Team Tanshu. Yeah. Over to you, Team Tanshu. You can share your screen now.
Yeah. So hello everyone. So myself Jennifer, co-founder and CTO of TansuAI. I have Vijay with me, who is CBO of TansuAI. I will be sharing. Just give me a sec. Okay, so hope the slideshow is visible. Let me know. Is fine.
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So first, I'd like to give an introduction about what is Tansu and who are we. So we are on AI layer for F&B businesses. So it's basically we are an AI-powered operational intelligence platform for food businesses. So what we do, we help very specifically, since we are focusing institutional catering right now, we help institutional food operators protect their margins, save their margin leakages, basically by making there are a lot of invisible operational losses. So that we are making it visible with the help of AI and computer vision. So who are we? So as founders, we bring extensive hands-on experience. Either it could be deep operational knowledge, very specifically on institutional food services, or myself being 13 years of experience in the software development field, very specifically to Vision AI and ML. So I bring those expertise to the table. And Vijay, yeah?
Yeah, I have around 11 years of experience in the F&B landscape, ranging from scaling to co-founded companies from 0 to 1, as well as consulting to more than 15 plus service operators across catering, retail F&B landscape. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, and we have SARTHY Venture Investment Partners who helps us with a lot of other aspects as well, especially in the terms of business directions, how to go further and how to make other intelligent decisions. So our problems identified, they are directly from operations, not from a theoretical point of view or like what use cases next to build it. It's basically come from the ground itself. And we are not, our solutions are basically built by the operators, maybe not for the operators. So, yeah.
So the market and the problem. These are the two aspects which we, focused on, and the market which we are focusing on, which is the institutional landscape, catering landscape, that involves school business, hostel business, colleges, and also catering operators who involve their whole business based on the clientele. The biggest market reality is that institutional F&B operators work on a very thin margin. And this is a industrial standard that everyone knows that catering industry has a very thin margin of around 80 to 15%. And even small leakages across the operational flow or even in the front end can affect the overall bottom line of the P&L. There is a heavy dependence on manual supervision involved in the institutional catering sector. And there are, like I said, there are high and silent leakages through the daily operations, whether it is through your operational inefficiencies or whether it is through, your feedback incompetency, right? And we have targeted a few core problems from this niche market. The first one we have, segregated is the feedback collection. We have noticed that the feedback collection, unlike retail F&B, is very haphazard. Like for example, for a retail F&B or a cafe or a restaurant, you can get multiple platforms where you can collect reviews or you can see the reviews like your Zomatos, your Swiggies, your Google reviews. But for catering operations, especially when it's a niche like institutional catering operations, you don't have any platforms to collect feedbacks, and feedbacks are very important to analyze and understand how to serve your customer better. And if that is lacking, then iteration increases in the industry, and then retention of the customer is in a very low scale. And the second is obviously unauthorized and unpaid consumption, right? Especially for institutional cater or residential schools or like residentials come day boarding schools, which are almost around 1,200 schools across India, right? And we have a huge problem where non-paid students or students who are not allowed to avail it, or staff who are not allowed to avail the meal services. They tend to consume the meal, which shoots the food cost by at least 10 to 15%. And this silent, higher margin affects the operator. He has to basically have a higher production cycle, and then he has to spend more money than what he's actually gaining, and then it affects his food cost, right? And then in the catering sector, SOPs exist across because compliance is a very big part of your central kitchens, but it's not enforced consistently, and there is no awareness on that, right? And like I said, overproduction and portion control is a big leakage factor, and all of these contribute. End of the day, it eats away the margin of the operator, right? So food businesses don't lose money loudly; they lose it silently, and this is a very important fact, which as me as an operator too have realized it across many years in the industry. Right. When we speak about the market size, the serviceable market size of the institutional catering segment, it's around $3 to $5 billion, and the overall catering segment market size is around $25 billion. So currently, we are working on a niche segment because we want to, be the first pioneers of solving this solution for this niche market. And obviously, once we solve this and gain the traction in the market, we will be going into the other retail F&B sector and other F&B landscapes.
So Vijay, the market
Jennifer.
is grossly overestimated because of you are not a F&B player. You are a F&B tech solution, and I don't think the market is very big there. It's sub 1 billion, is my thought.
I'm just telling you about the institutional market size, sir, not our.
So market is tech solutions, not F&B, so to say. It's a tech solution to F&B. So it's like if you're selling an accounting solution, you don't count the turnover of your accounting customers saying that the market is so big. So just
the wholesale market for tech solutions, F&B, is almost non-existent, like I told you. Only
but it's still it's there. It's there. It's a few $100 million globally. So think of it globally, and they are using some tech. Everybody's got CCTV. Everybody's got some billing solutions, right? They're using some tech, and that's your market.
True.
Yeah, so moving on to our solution. First, I'd like to highlight our value proposition statement. So TansuAI, we eliminate the hidden profit killers for institutional caterers, basically, in terms of consumption leakage, as Vijay had highlighted all the pain points in the industry right now. We are trying to help them by providing real-time AI monitoring. So that could increase their subscription, which is about their coverages. Like it could help them recovering their margin losses, not only like increasing their adoption, as well like we are trying to help the user retention also. So currently we are providing two offerings. So first one being the Tansu Pulse, which is about AI-powered feedback, CRM and awareness suite. So here what we do is we will collect digital feedback in terms of video from multi-stakeholders. So with the help of AI and ML model, so TansuAI has its own custom ML model, which has been trained across varieties of user feedback data. And we do sentiment analysis. So what is the student feeling about it? I mean, is it good or bad? Based on gesture, based on different food item based fine-tuned ML model analysis, we are trying to get sentiment and trend analysis out of that. This feedback data is a core or brain or maybe the backbone of the system for this particular CRM suite, because feedback data, many parents or other stakeholders pain point is we are telling, but is it been heard or is it been acted upon? So it's like you told and we acted upon kind of thesis we are applying here. So having this user feedback data, we'll be having this awareness module, and which would kind of connect with a communication model. Like let's say like there is a feedback that's been heard, and that feedback is been heard and acted like this. There is a hygiene kind of updates, or that's kind of menu that's been updated, and you told this is not good, so we acted on this. So all based on the data driven kind of suite is what this offering. And coming to the second offering, it is about Tansu Vision. It's completely it's AI vision based consumption and access control. When I say consumption, it is not about tracking cost based about how many meals have been consumed or something like that. So it's proper computer vision and ML based algorithms that's been applied to the system in a way that it would ensure that how many paid or authorized consumer access the meals. So that means any unauthorized information or any unauthorized consumers will have accounted or will be recorded and sent as a report to the business people, basically, who are all the stakeholders here. So what it does, it prevents the revenue leakage that's happening directly and indirectly for the residential and institutional setups. And we work on the existing CCTV infrastructure. So we won't ask them to install something new or just turn your infrastructure brand new according to our needs. No, we are working with the existing CCTV. We would need some more information. So the deployment would be easy.
Less than 1 minute left.
Okay, yeah. So
just to take you by our business model and GTM strategy. So we are our direct sales to schools and school management groups, institutional caterers, and central kitchens. right? And we have already started our pilot approach to our first client, who's Orchid National Schools. They have around 120 schools across India. Currently, we're working around 25 schools in Bangalore. So we are, and they have their own meal service program where their own kitchens are, providing breakfast and lunch meal services to the kids. And so optional services, that's where the gap of feedback analysis and CRM suite comes in, right? So for the Tansu Pulse, we're charging them 15,000 rupees per month per school. And for the Tansu Vision model, 12,000 rupees per month per location. And the one-time setup fees can vary between 10 to 25,000 depending on the technology cost involved, right? And why the model works, because it's a predictable recurring SaaS revenue model, right? You have high retention, and it's going to be working on a contract base, so it will be an annual contract base with renewable options, right?
Yeah,
And
Vijay,
they'll
quicker. You'll have to go to the
yes,
competitor
yes.
landscape fundraise. There's a lot
The
more.
next slide, Jennifer. Yeah.
So can I go with this? So it's about the benchmarking thing. So we have brought both international and Indian players over here. So from the highlighted pain points, if you could see, very either a part of what we are delivering or what we are planned to deliver is what been captured, but there is no unified platform which could deliver all in once, kind of unified platform. So I just want to highlight this. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the tractions and projections. So as I have already said, we have already signed a contract with Orchid National School. The first month will be the pilot run. We won't charge them for that. Second month will be a chargeable recurring services, which will continue. And we have sold both the pilots to them. And it will be scaled to 25 locations in Bangalore. And going forward, all the other schools which will be existing in Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, we will be their solo AI partner who will be helping them build this suite. The projections which we have understood is as February is our first pilot launch, we are not charging them. There won't be any MRR involved. But for March, we'll be having a recurring revenue of 3.7 lakhs, which we are looking at scaling to at least 7 to 8 lakhs by June, July. And by
What's the funding requirement? What's the funding requirement?
So the funding requirement, we are asking for 4 crores, and this in the valuation of around 20 crores. This will be, the funds will be used for basically technology and AI development to develop our models to reduce our tech costs so that we can provide the customers at a very lower rates. And second is obviously talent and team expansions to hire more skilled employees and to improve our tech department better. And also, can you go to the next slide quickly?
Yeah, I think it's done now. So
It's done,
yeah,
sir. It's
I think we
actually
pause here. Let's go to the Q&A. Yeah, let's go to the Q&A.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, questions, panel? Yeah, go ahead, Raghu.
Right. Yeah. So Jennifer and Vijay, good presentation, good product. Quite happy to see this. So I had just one observation, and I mean, I really don't know how much you all have been able to think through this. So you all have mentioned that typical margins for restaurants are between 8 to 15%, right? And or at least largely in this space, it's around 8 to 15%.
Yes.
And you're claiming that your product is likely to give them a 15 to 30% sort of savings on what they so how is it that people have missed out all these years on that kind of a large margin leakage?
Because,
I mean, it's a very large industry, right? So that sounded a bit surprising to me. So I just wanted to understand from you.
yes, sir. I'll just explain it to you. So we are speaking about just the institutional catering segment, sir. The reason why I told you is usually mass production kitchens, they do bulk quantities, and they have due to that, the price becomes a very sensitive subject here, right? So when it involves like high number of manpower and logistics and operational tasks, and this all eats away with your margin, and especially with the food cost of around industry average of around 45 to 50%, and then you're minusing your manpower cost, your rentals, your other reductions in your PNL, you're basically left with, like I said, 8 8 to 15%. And the reason why this is, there are few silent leakages which becomes part of the industry standard. Like they have accepted it because they're not able to resolve it, or many people just overlook it. Like I said, consumption, front end consumption, right? Like people who are not supposed to eat, they eat. That basically boosts their food costs. So let's say if I'm preparing food for 800 people, but 950 people have ended up eating it, right? So then basically that pushes me and increases my food cost and makes me produce more food, more than what I'm supposed to produce, right? So these are silent costs which people are not able to figure out, because when you have 500 600 people eating at one point of time, supervision becomes a very big issue, right? Manpower supervision. And that's where technology comes here for us, for them to track it and understand, okay, if there are 100 people supposed to eat and 125 people have eaten, that means that 25 people will be targeted, and we will be able to know who are these people, and we will, we can put preventive measures to stop this consumption leakage. So that is one part of it. Second is when I come to
Vijay, crisp answers, please. Crisp answers,
yes.
because we've got other questions also. Yeah.
Yeah, second part of it is the feedback analysis CRM suite. Like for catering institutions, especially institutional caterers, a CRM suite or marketing suite for awareness is technically non-existent, right? So this is where we are trying to bring some awareness to the operators to help them, have high retention, because it's a very high iteration market, like almost 60 to 70% iteration in the industry. As in, like, I'm pretty sure in your offices also you would have seen a food operator comes in, and within 2-3 months the new food operators come in, because the high iteration rate is very high.
Yeah, Kumar, your questions?
Hi Vijay, I come from the same industry, so I can relate your product.
Hello sir. Yes sir.
So yeah, so if you talk about the catering, definitely the pressure margins are very high because of the volumetric production. How you are tracking the recipe versus outcome? It's very important how much you produce, right? And what the target is given to produce. Suppose you have to produce 2000 kg of rice in a bulk, right? So when the quantity increases, actually your consumption of the raw material decreases, and that's something people do not understand. That's a fundamental of the larger scale production. So anything you guys are working on that?
So currently we're not working on the back end consumption tracking. We are only working on the front end part, which is tracking the consumers basically, rather than consumption. But this is something which we definitely want to look into once we probably within the next 6 months or a year or so.
We have one use case for that, which is about food waste and product optimization. I think it will come under that part, but that's not our current focus.
Got it. And the fund utilization, what's the plan basically? You're looking at means scaling the technology, or how? Where the percentage of the funds are going to be utilized?
Correct, sir. For the first year, because we have already cracked on these pain points which we are working on, we are working on a very lean bootstrap model where we have not raised any money yet. We're just, Jennifer is working on the technology with a couple of interns, and that is more than enough for us to run our MVP model right now. And we have already sold to a couple of clients who we are launching in a big scale. So even though it's one client, it's multiple user cases, like around 25, 26 locations across Bangalore. Outlets across Bangalore, where our pilot, our AI layer will be working, and they will have their unified dashboard where they can track all of these things. And we'll be working with them closely, obviously helping them analyze the data and understanding, also improving the models for them. So we are kept a 1-year scale where we're going to concentrate only on helping institutional operators similar to Orchid schools or similar to other international residential schools who are facing the similar problems, and then scaling the solution to them. And after a year, when we are planning to get into the retail F&B segment, that is when we require funds, because we are playing in a very huge segment of market where we require lots of field agents, marketing departments, social media, players, and all of this is very important for us, and also to improve the technology cost, because technology cost is very important. What we're providing for an operator for 10 to 15,000 per month, we can't provide to a retail F&B cafe, because their probably monthly budget is probably like a couple of thousand, right? So for us to get to that point, to give them in a very low technology cost, we need to first address and come to a good point where we are able to raise funds. Yeah.
Okay, we'll pause here. The Q&A went long. Yeah, thanks, Kumar, for your questions. Yeah, we'll go to Team Restomart. Team Restomart, you can share your screen and share your pitch. Yeah, good team, Tanshu. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Girish.
Yeah.
So we are quickly pulling up the deck.
Please.
Hope
Yes.
it's visible.
Yes.
Yeah. A warm greetings to everyone. Thanks for taking your time. We're Team Restomart. Yeah. So Restomart is a B2B quick commerce company solving for the procurement needs of food businesses in and around Chennai. And we are a multi-category based inventory model. And we started back in 2023, and our singular focus was to simplify procurement for food businesses. And we have been growing strength to strength from then. We have 250 active customers in our platform, and our monthly MRR hit around 30 lakhs last month. And yeah, I just want to, quickly give you an overview of the distribution landscape in India and how that's causing a big pain point for the food businesses, right? Today, 90% of the industry is fragmented, unorganized, and small-time distributors working for the brands. For a food business, you need to have at least 150 to 250 different SKUs from 6-7 different categories, be it dairy, frozen food, sauces, seasoning, imported products, etc. But the problem is not a single distributor can be able to cater to more than 3+ categories because of the logistical and also operational complexities that is involved with handling multiple SKUs and multiple products. Hence, these guys are forced to work with 50+ vendors. Even for a small cafe, which is like around 500 square feet, they will have to work with a different chicken vendor, different fruits vendor, different dairy vendor. So that's a big bottleneck for them, kind of affecting their productivity. So we wanted to, simplify procurement, and we wanted to be in multi-category. We want to be a one-stop solution so that the food businesses can cut down multiple point of engagement with the distributors and have a seamless procurement strategy. Yeah. So if you look at the food businesses, these guys, have been working with the same distributors because they didn't have any new players coming in trying to solve for them. So that is something that is affecting the industry. And what's happening here is that, the lead time in this industry is very high compared to, other industry. So if you place an order with the distributor for a paneer, the average lead time is anywhere between 2 to 3 days. That's when you get your orders delivered. So the restaurants have to, pre-plan everything and stock up all the inventory in their own storage. And that's where a lot of wastage, kind of pilferage comes in. Right. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to be a reliable partner for these restaurants for procurement, so that we can deliver the food ingredients within 4 hours. So that these guys do not run into a lot of frequent stockouts or a lot of inventory wastages, or also their working capital locked up in the storage. So hence we went to a lot of cafes and restaurants in Chennai, saying that we will do a daily milk run for all these top 100+ key SKUs, which can affect your entire menu. For example, a paneer can spoil your entire gravies and curries, etc. So we don't want to food businesses to lose margins, because they're already thin margin businesses with around 10-15% margins. Hence, that's why you see a lot of these food businesses end up shutting their operations within 2 to 3 years, and that's a big disadvantage for them. So hence we are trying to be more reliable for them and try to cater to their operational needs every day. So, yeah.
So the next problem comes to us, since we are focusing on 4-hour delivery mechanism, it is important for us to fine tune our operations model. So we can't really run with 2000+ SKUs, which we need, which restaurants might need throughout the industry. So if you want to be faster, we need to be leaner. with our SKU counts. And also we need to decentralize. The industry incumbents, they're all centralized players. The large players, if you can see, the incumbents like Zomato's, Hyperpure, they are centralized operations model where they are situated, their warehouses are situated outside the city with 10,000 to 20,000 square feet. But we have, if you want to deliver at speed, we have to decentralize. So we have identified the key clusters within our city where the food establishments are dense, and we are starting to position the dark warehouses near that place. So hence we reduce on our logistics cost, and also we replenish our inventory on a day-to-day basis from our mother warehouse. So that is how the operations is working out. So currently we have with our current process, we have a dark warehouse situated in Velachery, so which is the southern part of Chennai. So from here we supply to the many 5 to 8 kilometer radius of restaurants that are there. So we have tried to be very lean and systemized in our operations culture. So how we sort of deliver our order is that we work on an aggregation model where we aggregate all the orders on a same before day. We work on a 4-hour slot. So the orders that are coming in on the next day would be delivered in the next first slot. The orders coming on the same day would be delivered on the next 4-hour cycle. So that is how we batch the orders and deliver it to the kitchens.
And something that's been affecting a lot of other distributors is that they have a lot of cold products, but their logistics is not supported to support all these frozen products and dairy. And hence these guys are dealing with a lot of yield issues in their kitchen, and also spoilage and wastage. And even Zomato Hyperpure, as Tarun said, they do a truck run of around 12 hours, and if you store the frozen product in an ambient storage, that becomes a problem in the kitchen, right? So we ideally want to avoid that in our 4-hour delivery model.
So coming to our business model, so we essentially procure directly from brands. Almost 60% of the inventory that we have are directly sourced from brands, and we also have a regional partnership with our suppliers who help us out with working capital help. So we take like 15 days worth of credit also with some suppliers, and we work with most of the established brands in the Horeca space. Like we have identified the 50 plus main brands that we need to work with, and we have streamlined the purchase process. We have streamlined the product availability, and we have reduced the delays. And then from procurement, we manage the inventory on our own in our warehouse, and then we have our own warehouse management software, and from there the order is picked, packed, and delivered. So currently we have a blended margin of around 13%. We also have plans to expand our product portfolio based on the demand, and increase our blended margin to around 25 to 40% with the private label products also.
So this is a second phase of growth, where we want to, have a portfolio of value-added products, so that we also minimize the prep time in the kitchens, because labor is a big issue in the F&B space, and if you lose out, at least 3-4 labors on the same day, then your entire productivity goes for a toss, and you don't have any time for preparation. So that is something that we are trying to help with semi-processed and more processed value-added services like cut veggies, etc. So that is something that we are working on, and probably will be live in next 2-3 quarters.
So this is just this trend slide, which is talking about how the current industry is promising, and how so many cafes and QSRs are coming up in the city. So anybody can see that within a week we could see in Chennai at least 10 plus different food businesses that are popping up. So there is a clear demand. There is a clear demand for our business, since there is a lot of food establishments are coming up.
And the interesting statistic is that per day. Yeah.
1 minute left.
Yeah. So if you look at the competitive landscape, so there are a lot of players, but what differentiates us with them is that speed. So if you look at Hyperpure, they are built for scale. They want to cater to all different kind of food establishments. But our initial focus was, cafes, QSRs, and cloud kitchens, so that the 4-hour delivery and quick commerce model for these kind of restaurant segments is very well received in the industry. If you look at players like Udan or your Reliance Metro, so these are in different formats. For example, maybe you can take Ninja Card an example. They are from a supply side, they are category specific and vertically focused on F&B only. And from a demand side, these guys kind of supply to all different categories, be it D2C, be it B2B, be it institutions, etc. But for us, our focus is entirely on cafes and restaurants. We are catering to the speed of these institutions so that these guys don't make okay. Yeah. So currently, we closed last year with 1.43 crores of revenue, and we already surpassed it this year. We are at 2.2.
GMV, right? It's GMV.
Yeah. No, for us, revenue is GMV because we are inventory-based model.
Yeah, it's GMV,
Yeah.
but yeah. Revenue will be your margin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gross margin, yes. Yeah.
Yes. And our average order value has been increasing. When we started out, it was around 2,000 per order. Now it's around 6,000 rupees, and we are making a contribution margin of around 700 rupees per order and a contribution profit of around 150 to 200 rupees per order.
Customers are retaining.
Yeah. So if you look at our cohorts, customer cohorts, the customers that we usually onboard in this quarter, they tend to give 6x the revenue in the next 2 to 3 quarters. That is the kind of reliability and service levels that we offer to them, and those guys keep coming back to us. And if you look
Their
at
wallet share also has increased to 6x. That is what the infographic is showing here. And I'll quickly move on to the ask slide. So we are currently seeking 2.5 crore to expand to improve our 4-hour delivery mechanism right now, and then to improve put out a new dark warehouse within the Chennai city. And we want to go deeper into the market since we have reached at almost 20 to 25% of the city only. So we want to double down on the Chennai city. We want to add more customers, and that is what we are planning to do. So we would spend most of our money in the hiring human capital for sales and tech, and we'll also be aggressively spending on our customer acquisition. Apart from that, we will also have some buffer for OPEX and some value-added products that we are planning to launch.
Great. Yeah, we'll open for questions. Yeah, questions team. The panel, we can open for questions.
Yeah, hi. I have just put up a question in chat. Sorry, put it a little while ago.
Okay.
Cisco US. Josh is asking.
So we are not exactly like a Cisco in US because Cisco delivers. They have their product portfolios around 6,000 plus SKUs in their inventory, and they operate on a centralized model, as I said.
And they also have different kind of channels. They are also broadline distributors. They take orders in online also, and they're also manufacturers of certain products that they have in their portfolio. But yes, Cisco is you can say that it's more or less what we are trying to do.
If you scale your operations like 100x, you guys are basically Cisco.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, Kumar. Yeah, so IPA has a slot for same-day delivery and has a certain number of orders that they can take because they usually do a next-day model and their infra is supportive of that and not quick responsive supply chain. So if you look at IPA, their a slot opens in the morning around 8 o'clock to around 12 o'clock. So they have a 4-hour slot only for same-day deliveries, and even for that. Probably in some time their full their slot gets over and it can't be fulfilled on the same day.
Yeah, Kumar, any follow-on question?
Hi. Yeah, so so one you told about that it's not deliveries, but anytime they can double down with they have the money, muscle power, inventory, everything, right? So I mean, how you guys are different from them?
See, for what we understand is that, the infra cost they have put up in setting up all these centralized warehouses across multiple cities, it is going to take them at least a year to replicate what we are trying to do in urban spoke model, decentralized warehouses so that we can deliver fast. See, for them to move completely from, outside the city warehouse to, more responsive warehouses, it is something that
So
will take time.
you are having a bit of asset light model. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
So also I have a different take on this. So this, as I already said, the big players, they're all built for scale. So they have partnerships with multiple brands. They are maintaining like 2,000 different SKUs. So if you want to be faster, really faster and responsive, you have to cut down on your SKUs. You can't have 2,000 SKUs and be fast. So that actually doesn't make sense for them. Like their category teams becomes irrelevant if they want to cut down on their SKUs. The restaurants, at least the cafes and QSRs, we know the top 200 SKUs are very much essential. So what are the top 200 SKUs? And for those SKUs, we will have different options also. But for these players to cut down on their 2,000 SKUs to 150 or 200 SKUs to be faster and to compete with her, it's going to be irrelevant for us, is what we think.
When we pause here, Kumar, if any follow-on questions, we'll take it later also. I know this is your feed, but we'll take it later. Yeah. Thanks, team Restomart. Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
we'll go to startup from Bharat, which is ChaiMitra. Surya, over to you.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Surya.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Surya Mishra, and I hope you all had your evening chai and it was refreshing and good. So, I'm the founder at ChaiMitra. So, ChaiMitra is basically an everyday chai and snacking brand, wherein we are working with in the tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 parts of India. So, we are more led of snacking-led QSR platform, and we are offering a standardized chai and everyday Indian snacks for high frequency consumption. So this is our team. My name is Surya, and I head all the scales and executions of ChaiMitra. Krishna is into taking care of all the system and processes backend. Aditya is responsible for all the financials and everything. Harshit is taking care of the operations. We have a very good pool of mentors and advisors. We have Mr. Chandan Ghosh, who has been into Nestle as a country head, and Mr. Devang Patel. He has worked with multiple startups, and he's currently providing support in the service quality discipline. Ajay Kumar is there, who is into strategic insights and everything. And we have Durgesh Singh. And also from last 1 month, I'm also getting good support from SARTHY to refine our offerings and everything. So the problem which we are solving is the everyday snacking in the tier 2 and tier 2 to tier 4 parts of India. If we have a deep look into that, it is a high frequency thing, but it is very poorly organized. We looked at 4 ground realities, which was the Indian snacking is dominated mostly by the informal vendors, and it is very inconsistent and lacks quality, and there is no standardized experience on which customers can rely. So this habit is very much repeatable, because if you know, in the unorganized vendors who are there, they are having high frequency at their stores. So one of the key insights which we got was that the demand is predictable but the supply is unreliable. So after that, we got to know what is the market size and everything. We came to know that total addressable market is around 70,000 crores, in which the SAM comes around 18 to 20,000 crore. And in the next 5 years, we are looking to do a revenue of around 300 crores. So if you look at the total thing, so ChaiMitra is not targeting the entire market. We are very much specific in our offering and our target audience. So our solution, we have made it 4 different, we are having 4 core offerings. That is standardized chai and everyday snacking, short and standardized menu, not a huge menu and everything. We are focusing on affordable pricing, but high frequency visits. And fourth and most important is that we are providing clean and reliable experiences to the customers who are there in the tier 2 and tier 4 parts of India. The target customers, we are focusing on the daily snackers. They comprise of student, working professional, families. The customers who are price sensitive, but they're value conscious and hygiene conscious, and they are seeking reliability over novelty. The value proposition which we say as the value proposition statement is that so ChaiMitra is offering reliable standardized chai and snacking experience for everyday consumption, where the market is usually dominated by the informal vendors. If we talk about our business model, it is so if we look at the revenue engine, so the major footfall which we are getting is for the chai, but we are converting that into profitable by offering various snacks offering and various cold beverage options. So if you look at the revenue engine, we are having 45.8% contribution from the snacking things. Hot beverages contribute as around 25%. Cold beverages are providing 16.7% margin. And we are also doing one very unique thing is about combos and basket add-ons, which is giving us a huge impact in our revenue. It is 12.5% of the contribution, but slightly is now it is now increasing. So the chai is the footfall driver, but the offering in the snacks and everything, they give us a sustainable store ROI. So if you look at the store economics, currently we are operating 4 stores. We started in November of 2023, and for the last 2 years we were having only 1 store. But from past 6 months we have started scaling. So the average monthly revenue comes around at 2.5 to 3 lakhs. The store level EBITDA is around 18 to 20%. The average ticket size which we are currently doing is around 200 rupees to 250 rupees, and we are processing around 60 to 80 daily orders. If we talk about the gross margins, these snacks provide us with 55 to 60% of gross margin, and beverages providing 35 to 40% of gross margin. And why we win, why we are ready to scale and everything is that because we have short and standardized menu, we are very focused on our offerings. We understand the customers, we understand our customers and their pain points, and we are we are designing all of our offerings according to them. We have low dependency on skills and manpower because of our standardized processes, SOPs, and everything. And we are capital light growth, so this will help us in scaling further. So how ChaiMitra is different from all the other players which might be coming to your mind. So see, as I earlier mentioned, like we are bridging the gap between the informal vendors and the premium cafe. So we are in between them. So we are combining the frequency of the informal vendors with the reliability of the premium cafes which might be coming to your mind. So we differentiate ourselves on 6 parameters, that is price affordability, hygiene and safety, taste consistency, daily repeat suitability, scalability, and operational cost efficiency. So these are the 6 key parameters on which we are differentiating ourselves from the competitors which might be coming to your mind. So we started in the third quarter of 2023, to be very specific, in November of 2023. In that first 6 months of our operations, we generated around 8.17 lakhs in revenue. The second year was our full operational year, financially operational year. That was financial year 24-25. We were having just one outlet, and we did a revenue of around 30 or 31 lakh rupees odd. And in FY 25-26, we started expanding from the second quarter onwards. So till date, we have done close to around 73 lakhs in revenue. And this year, we are targeting to close this year at around 1.25 CR with 7 stores in our portfolio. And the numbers which we have achieved, so I have just bifurcated some of the things which we have done uniquely. So in the past 6 months, we have sold close to 72,000 cups of chai. Our burger offering is very unique, and as per the customer taste palette, we have sold close to 86,000 burgers. As I mentioned, that we have also cold beverages and other things. So we have sold 15,000 cups of cold beverages, and amazing input is that we have sold close to 10,000 liters of cold drink, which helps us in making our combos and everything. One of the key parameters which is very important in our sector is the same store sales growth. So if we talk about that, we are having 15% same store sales growth rate. In the next 3 years, we are looking to have close to 100 stores in our portfolio and doing an annual revenue of around 70 CR. So this is the bifurcation which I have given in the slide. And our ask is 3 CR. We are looking to raise 3 CR for various activities. So 60% of that will go into new outlet setup. 15% we will be investing in the marketing and everything. Working capital will give us 15% and 10% on the research and development part. We started with a bootstrap capital of 30 lakh rupees. So till date, we have invested 30 lakh rupees in the business. Yeah. So this was all. Thank you.
Thanks, Surya. Good presentation. Yeah, we're
Thank you,
open
sir.
for questions. So this is our third F&B tech startup. Yeah, so open for questions, especially from folks who know Bharat a little more than me, at least. Yeah. Chetan was one of them, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. Who had a question? No questions? Okay. Fine. Good presentation again, Surya. We'll surely get back to you. Yeah. But do work on the feedback which Chetan gave you. Do work on that, which was very crucial. Yeah. We are still interested in Bharat authenticity, if I may say, right? Instead of the same burger and what everybody is serving, right? The street vendor is also serving it, and the store is also serving it. So that Bharat authenticity to the world will take it to the next. Yeah. But you don't have any other chai sutta bar or anyone even 100 kilometers away from you. Is there? You didn't show any competitor landscape here. So I'm just trying to understand who's your competitor. Is it the local street vendor?
So the informal vendors who are there, and the
those
local
are
cafes.
You don't have any branded competitor for all your 4 outlets today.
No.
There's no branded competitor. Is there a market, but?
There is a market because we are getting
3 lakhs
attraction. We
per
are doing
outlet
numbers.
will go to how much maximum? Say 5 years from now, this 3 lakh per outlet sale per month will go to how much maximum?
So in the next 5 years, we will be easily doing around 300 CR into revenue. Considering
per outlet per month.
Per outlet, we will be doing around close to 60 lakhs per outlet.
Per month. So it's
per
5
year,
lakhs.
Per year.
So 5 lakhs per month. That's the max peak potential as per you. After that, the outlet will stagnate.
As per me, considering all the current scenarios and everything.
So 5 lakhs में क्या पैसा बनेगा? You will have 20% margin, which will be 1 lakh. Operations cost, rent.
So per store, if we are doing, let's say 5 lakh in revenue, we will be making close to 70 to 80,000 in profits.
That'll be gross margin, not profits.
No, sir. It's the net profits.
After rental, after salaries, after everything.
Yes.
And on this, you'll get your franchisee fees or franchisee share.
Yes.
Right? Currently, what's your franchisee fees or share?
So currently, the franchise fees which we are currently giving is around 16 lakh rupees, and the franchise fees into that is around 3 lakh rupees.
Okay, you get a 3 lakh fixed and a percentage also.
10% royalty, monthly royalty.
Fine. Okay, good presentation again. Yeah, thanks for your time. Yeah, so we have the last presentation. Thank you everyone for your patience, and I know it's a long demo day usually. We have 9 only, so we have the last presentation, and I hope the best. Team Phimach, you can share your screen and share about Phimach Aerospace. Yeah, so we've got a deep tech startup in aerospace. Again, an invitee startup. Yeah, over to you.
Good evening, sir.
Maharishi, over to you. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Let me share my PPT.
Yes.
Is it visible to you, sir?
Yes.
PPT is visible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So, I am Dr. Maharshi Subhas, and I am the founder director of Phimach Aerospace Private Limited. We are making unmanned aerial vehicles, which will be AI enabled and indigenously developed for long endurance, means long flight time. Currently, our startup has the office in IIT Roorkee as an incubator. Now, I would like to show you the certificate of recognition from the Startup India. And here I have already defined we will work on aeronautics, aerospace, and defense, and especially in the drone sector. Now I would like to introduce our core team. Myself, Maharshi Subhas, I did PhD from TU Darmstadt, Germany in mechanical engineering. Then my friend, he also did PhD from NTU Singapore in aerospace engineering. And my friend Dr. Neeraj Jha, he is also PhD from Leibniz University, Germany. My friend Manjul Tripathi, he is also one of the co-founder, and he did MTech from IIT Roorkee. And our student Pranav Gupta, he is doing the internship in our company right now. And our mentor is Dr. Krishna Murari. He is ex-AGM from HL Bangalore, and he is our technical advisor. So I would like to bring your notice to what is the problem in the drone sector in India. Actually, mostly we have quadcopter type or multi-rotor type, and fixed wing drones are very at the infancy stage or at R&D stage. Mostly they are powered by the battery, and the cost is very, very high. So that has some limitations. Limitations are low endurance. Low endurance means low flight time, low speed, low payload, low range, and low service. So we did some R&D on our product, and we have increased flight time and speed, and also payload, range, service ceiling, and we will be enabling it with the AI in order to enhance the performance. And our product is patented technology, superior performance, and I would say we will bring the product in the market with the research and development. Research, development, and engineering will be the core in our startup. So our target business area is we will make the drone for border area security, surveillance, and any type of surveillance for the chemical factory, for the refinery, for the power plant, nuclear power plant, etc. And we can also use it for the tactical weapons as a swarm drone. And then second area will be the medical equipments. If you would like to transport the medical equipments or medical medicines from the hospitals to the hilly terrains or high reach area, so we can deliver this. And also for the city patrolling, homeland security, Kumbh Mela security services, something like that. So we have actually the indigenous technology. We don't have to rely on the American or any other countries, like we are buying MQ-9A or MQ-9B from the US, and it costs approximately 880 crores, and it is a very high cost. And then we are solving that solutions. We are solving that problems in a fraction of crore. Okay. So this is our first IPR generation proof that you can see unmanned space vehicles, and we will build it. And then
so what is the patent? What is the patent about?
Patent is about for the design of the aircraft design patent. Okay, how it will look like.
Okay, but how does it make different? How does it look? Right? There's no technology patent inside.
No. Design patent means okay, in the aerospace, if you have to generate the lift, there should be a special aerodynamic design. That aerodynamic design is unique. Every aircraft has a unique aerodynamic design that you have to preserve in order to have the better lift to drag ratio. So it is very, very important to design the outlook of your aircraft.
And so what is your lift to drag ratio?
Lift to drag ratio is 15 to 18 around.
Versus competition is how much?
No. Lift to drag ratio is the okay. It is a technical term actually. So in our design, we have simulated around 15 to 18 lift to drag ratio, and it is very good. So we have designed patented design, and then another mechanism we are recently published, and it will be soon granted, maybe in May June of this year. Guided wings for the propulsion systems and mechanism thereof. And so this is another patent, and we are also working on the several patents, 4 or 5 patents, and designs will be registered this year. We are planning to do that, and it is in pipeline. Okay. So now I would like to draw your attention on the market size. Market size, it is predicted in 2030. Defense market size will be 1 lakh crore, more than 1 lakh crore. Commercial will be 75,000 crore, and HLS means Homeland Security 23,000 crore. But it is predicted in 2020. So now in 2026 itself, this market is already beyond 1 lakh crore. So in 2030, they were predicting around 3 lakhs crore market, but now they are revising this and saying that it will be around somewhere around 6 lakhs crore market total size, because of the escalation of the tension between the Russia and Ukraine, and you can see the scenario how it's saying. So defense sector and HLS sector is increasing by leaps and bounds. And so in the drone
we know
market,
it's a big market, Manishi. Let's go ahead. Let's understand what is your solution and what's your beachhead in this. Yeah.
Okay. So our unique value proposition is high speed, and our flight time will be more than 40 hours, long area surveillance, tracking and monitoring, and decision making and control center. So these are our USP. And now I would like to show you our progress. Our progress is we have already done the model fabrication, and then we are testing first prototype model, and it is started in December 2025, and soon we will go for the certification stage. And so I would like to show you first model. This is Aveksha 501, and here we are going to launch in the market in March, maybe in March or April, and then we would like to start its first mass production of this type of surveillance Aveksha model. And now I would like to show you our Aveksha model and Arihant model. Arihant model will be very, very high speed, high range, and high endurance, and it will be powered by the engine, but eventually we are planning to powered by the renewable energy. But for this time it will be powered by the engine, normal engine. Okay, and this model, this is in the completion Aveksha 50 Note, and so I would like to show you that in 26 and 27 we would like to launch these products in the market. In May 2026, Aveksha 501 Arihanta in September, it will be powered by the engine, and then Aveksha 50 Note, little bit more range, more endurance, but with payload of 5 kilograms, VTOL capacity. And so 3 model in 2026 and 3 model in 27. And now I would like to show you the revenue generation model that we are predicting that in 1 year we will sell around 100 units. So for the 100 units, the production cost will be around 2.55 crore, and the total revenue generation will be around 15.15 crore, and net profit will be around 3 CR. So this is our prediction. This is optimistic prediction. So we have 2 more prediction: pessimistic prediction and balanced prediction. Pessimistic and balanced prediction, they also have net profit around 1 CR. And so our capex and opex requirement totally comes around 600 lakhs, which is around 6 CR, and our ask is 6 CR. For the production of Aveksha model, then some OPEX in some salary, then prototype model TD1 to TD6, it will be for Arihant model 501, 502, and 503, and Aveksha model 501, 502, 503. So TD1 to TD6.
Any grants you received?
We have received one funding from our friends, okay, in lieu of some rights, equity, and then we have around 22 lakhs until now.
No grants?
No
government
grants,
grants?
no government. We are
Have you
applying
applied?
for that. Yeah, yes. Now we are applying for that.
Yeah, I think
But
we can pause here. We can open for questions. Yeah, let's open for
sure.
questions. Team, we're opening for questions. Any questions from anyone? Any folks interested in drones and space tech? Happy to take your questions. I know it's a crowded, but it's a high-growing, upcoming space.
Yes,
So
sir.
if we are able to build a differentiated products, we can conquer the world, although no initial proof for now. Yeah.
Yes.
But we're open for questions, team. Anybody can ask questions who has an interest or experience in this space. I think limited experience is there in the panel, Marishi, but we'll surely build on this. Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes.
Again, good presentation. I'll still request you find your beachhead, find your first paying customer, even who commits you. This is a LOI. Build this, and I'll pay you only when I meet certain parameters.
We will get the LOI very soon in January, in February. From there is an institute called BSF Advanced Drone Training Center in Dehradun, and they are expressing the interest to buy our model.
Okay.
Because there is a
different use case. Transportation has a totally different use case with different features, different specs. So multiple use cases will confuse you who to build for. So the best is paid POC. Pay me, I'll build what you want. Right. So if that case, and LOI is the proof for that. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks everyone for your patience. I think we are on time. We had 9 pitches, quite strenuous. Yeah. The panel was slightly short, but they've asked for the recording. So I'll be sharing the recording with a few panel members who missed. They had some other exigency, and we'll get the feedback from them also when we rate the full VP. Thanks everyone again.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Okay. Bye.
Bye.